Welcome back. We're going to try something a little different now on The Listening Post. Years ago, on one of our first broadcasts, we ran a web video of the week called Post 9/11 Blues. It was the work of a young British actor and musician named Riz Ahmed, who raps under the name Riz MC. The video went viral. It was about living in the West as a young Muslim in the post 9/11 world. Now Ahmed's released another political music video, and again, YouTube is the platform. Riz Ahmed wants the world to know he's not just about the politics, but this new video called Sour Times has a line in it that caught our attention. I'm losing my religion, he says, to tomorrow's headlines. We thought that his message and what it says about Islamophobia and the mainstream news media were ideas worth exploring. Here's The Listening Post's Salah Khader.
In these sour times, please allow me to vouch for mine. Bitter taste in my mouth, spit it out with a rhyme. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines. Forest Gate.
The voice of Riz MC and his latest release, Sour Times.
Please allow me to vouch for mine.
But before Sour Times, his debut single was Post 9/11 Blues.
War, Iraq, suicide bombs. Stop hogging the limelight and make some room for my songs. Anyway, it's all reruns. We need a new war. Bush, go get Iran. I heard it talking about your mum.
The song came out in 2006. It turned some heads, raised some eyebrows, but struggled to get airplay on radio or TV.
So I picked up a respectable magazine, told me about the new post 9/11 categories. Israeli fighters are soldiers, Irish are paramilitary, and dark ones are terrorists. How simple can it be? But
Post 9/11 Blues was my first ever song, really. Mainstream media really didn't want to play the song, whether radio or TV stations. They felt nervous about it. So what I did was I put it online and let it gather momentum there. And that created its own kind of online outrage.
everybody do the post 9/11 dance. Look scared, shake your ass when the bombs go blast. Everybody shake your post 9/11 thong. So the dossier was wrong, Jackson oil drop a bomb.
I released the song Post 9/11 Blues way before I released Sour Times. And I thought that was more palatable, more digestible, you know, to kind of inject the whole issue with a bit of humour.
The song for Riz MC's latest video, Sour Times, was actually written at the same time as Post 9/11 Blues, but the video was held back until this year.
I didn't perform Sour Times for a long time. I just thought it would be seen as too hardcore for people. And I think at the time, in 2005, 2006, if I had performed that song in a lot of context, I think people would have felt nervous because the Islamophobic sentiment was so high.
And now it's Post 7/7. Why are they calling it that? They're trying to link it to New York, like we're all under attack from the same big bad guy, but it's taking the Because the truth is, Al-Qaeda doesn't really exist.
This song was about sour times we were living in, and particularly at that time there was definitely quite an ugly drumbeat of Islamophobia in the media. We'd open up newspapers and it would talk in terms of we and they being Muslims, as though, you know, the editors or the journalists could never imagine that a Muslim might be reading this newspaper, this mainstream newspaper, or watching this, you know, mainstream news channel.
So in these sour times, please allow me to vouch for mine. Bitter taste in my mouth, spit it out with a rhyme. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines. Forest Gate, sorry mate, nah, nothing, it's fine.
One of the faces lip-syncing the lines is that of the video's director, Farah Drabu.
It's upsetting after a while to see the media misrepresent a religion, and so when he's saying I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines, he's kind of explaining to people that, you know, it's not good what you're seeing in the headlines, and I'm feeling really sad about it, and, you know, on that basis I'm writing this song.
The video employs a simple, effective method of amplifying Riz MC's message by using many different faces and nationalities to mouth his words.
I think with Sour Times, it is coming from an Islamic perspective, but it's not making an Islamic point. It is a point of view that people from all different backgrounds, all different ages and all different nationalities hold, which is that terrorism and radicalization is less to do with religion and less to do with the inherent nature of a people, and much more to do with economics and politics and how people feel excluded and how people feel that in whatever twisted way they can make an impact and be counted.
So listen, terrorism isn't caused by religion or an old school vision of Islam. It's against the Quran, and it's a new innovation caused by mash-up situations. That's what makes them turn to arms.
The idea behind us shooting this video was to get as many people to contribute and get their faces on the screen, because I think it's a view that a lot of people think maybe people in the West don't hold. These days we've got web cameras, we've got mobiles, we've got so many ways of filming ourselves and sending it to other people. So people would film themselves in America and send it over to me, and then I'd just cut it into the video, and that was how we did it.
So David's taking out Goliath and his wife and his dog, segregated, castrated, now we see who's on top.
The video is not short on irony. The mainstream media are part of the message, and Riz MC has gone around the news media onto the web to deliver it.
So it felt right, you know, given that that's how we created a lot of the video, to debut it online as well.
The misguided turn violent, strap themselves up with bombs, but they're still cowards, because they ain't here when the backlash is on.
Virals are really the way forward these days to get stuff seen. When you think about it, more people are watching the internet than they are the television now. It's more authentic that it's a viral because no one is pushing it to you. It's the artist himself has done that, uploaded it, and you know, it's there for anyone to see.
The internet is a really important way of kind of sometimes forcing your way into the mainstream media, but I think increasingly bypassing it altogether. I'm happy with it being out there in the giant free-for-all of the internet and people passing it on like that.
So, all the mans that want to say that my religion has to change, that we're stuck in a bygone age, it's time to set the vinyl straight. Don't you think it's kind of strange that all this terror outrage, these last gasp castaways, these that will blast away, just turned up in the last decade, when Islam has been the way for millions from back in the day? Instead of thinking that we're crazed, investigate just what it says. Fast, help the poor, and pray, go Mecca, be steadfast in faith. That's the basics, that's the base. So how did we get here today?
Please allow me to vouch for mine. Bitter taste in my mouth, spit it out with a rhyme. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines. Guantanamo, sorry bro, nah, nothing is fine. Please allow me to vouch for mine. Bitter taste in my mouth, spit it out with a rhyme. I'm losing my religion to tomorrow's headlines.
More Global Village Voices now on Islam and the post-9/11 media.
The insight that this video has given to my 8 children as we discussed it and viewed it together, we understood the pain that it was conveyed when the author says, my religion is being stolen by tomorrow's headlines. That's exactly what we felt as American Catholics when the American sex scandal broke a while back. The headlines every day were talking about horrible things, and I want to tell people that's not my religion, that's not my experience, that's not part of the beauty of being Catholic. My dear Muslim friends have the exact same issues when the Book of Peace is being subverted into a book of hate and violence. This video can teach all the people, both the ones that understand and the ones that don't understand, at least a little bit, and get us closer to a global understanding.
In keeping with our musical theme this week, more years ago than I care to remember, I was a fan of an Australian band called Hunters and Collectors. They split up a long time ago, but they live on, like many old bands do, on YouTube. That's where we found an old music video from 1986 of a track that was written about television news. The song's called Is There Anybody In There? And it still feels relevant today. So we've made it our web video of the week. We'll see you next time at The Listening Post.